Good morning. Good morning, all the beautiful souls that are watching this today. I woke up a little bit later than usual because I stayed up pretty late last night. Man, I was talking with my friends, haven't talked to them in a while, and I don't know, man. We kind of hit it off. Getting to know each other again. What's going on in our lives. That type of deal, and that was nice. That was nice. Oh, man, that what we were talking about last night really put into perspective for me a lot of things, and I wanted to kind of bring some of those to the forefront. Man, yesterday we were talking about some people that we mutually know and how they live in situations where I think a lot of people would look at that and be like, oh, they're living great or they're living well off. But to them, they feel like, they're poor or that they need more or that they want more, right? And that they're not well off. And, I was hearing this, right? And I brought up the perspective because I like challenging perspectives, right? I think it's good to have multiple perspectives on different things. And I was like, people only know what they know. People only know what they know. Let me explain. So, someone who grows up like in a very wealthy area, in a very wealthy home, like in a family, right? They have like a nice 5-bedroom house, right? 5-bedroom house, 4-bathroom, big old living area, nice yards, right? Big ass, place to live, right? That person only knows that, right? Because that's what they grow up with, right? And unless something like extreme happens where they lose everything, right? That's all they're gonna know. But they know other people who are similar, adjacent to it, and they're gonna compare themselves to those people. Because maybe, they have a nice 5-bedroom house, 4-bathroom house, but they know a friend who has I don't know. They know a family who had like a 7-bedroom house, like a slightly bigger house, right? And then they might look at that and be like, oh man, like they have so much more than us. They have all this, maybe your family or maybe their family has like, 2 cars and their family has like 6 cars, right? They'll be like, oh man, they have so much more. It's like, why can't I have all that? It's like, I just wanted to say that because like that's all they know. Same thing with someone who is a little bit more poor, on the poorer side, right? Someone who grows up in a not so good housing, right? Not so good housing. Maybe it's a little rundown area, and then they see someone with a slightly better house, right? Maybe it has more area to play or a yard or something like that. It's like they look at that and be like, man, they have so much more than us. I want that, or I wish I had that, right? And so why do I bring this up? People only know what it is that they know, but that they're exposed to, right? And because of that, people in general tend to, especially in this day and age where we have access to internet, right? And we're seeing so many people's lives constantly, right? People tend to compare themselves to other people, and then they just see that, they compare themselves to them, and it's like, man, they're doing so much better than me, or they have so much more than me, or they have this and that by this age. And it's like, dang, what am I doing, right? And I brought that up to say that That's why I believe it is important to appreciate what you have instead of constantly comparing yourself. Because here's the thing, right? I don't believe that we as humans were meant to see so many people's lives constantly. You know what I mean? Like the age of internet, right? While it has brought many blessings upon this world, right? It has done so much good for us. It has also caused us to see so much more than humans have ever been able to see in the past, right? Humans, they what am I saying? Right. Like before, man, what's the water fountain on? Sorry, I'm getting distracted. We would only like see our neighbors, basically. We would see our neighbors and maybe like some close associates, or if you were, more wealthy, you go to an establishment, right? Like a school, or like a workplace, right? And you would know more people as a result of that. But now, we see tons of people's lives, like people who are active on social media. You see people's lives all the time, right? People posting about what they have, what they're doing, what they got, all the time. And I don't believe that we were meant to see all of that. All that to say, as a result of that, people just naturally tend to compare themselves to what they see, right? And I think that as a result of that, it definitely messes with you in the sense that, you see so much more that you don't even appreciate what you have. Because here's the thing with my friends, for example, right? They live in very nice situations, right? But they don't take the time to appreciate that, they have never had to worry about food, never had to worry about water, a roof over their head, transportation, electricity, having access to good electricity, might I add. Like, these are just things that, because that's all they know, that's just what they kind of expect, right? And as a result, they tend not to be appreciative of that. And I think that is a flawed way of thinking, personally, because by not being appreciative of what you have, then if something were to happen, you might feel that you lost everything, right? But that's not true. Whereas if you're appreciative of what you have, regardless of the situation that you're in, you will always find that you will bounce back, or that you are in a, how would you say, just you feel better about, your life in general. I know that to be true of me, because I used to be that person. I used to not care about the stuff that I had, right? Because that's all I knew. I only knew, just having decent internet, never having to worry about food most of the time, water, electricity, a roof over my head, right? I would only focus on the negatives, right? And what people have more than me, I'd be like, dang, this could be different, or I could have this or that or this, you know what I'm saying? But now, instead of thinking like that and telling myself every day, appreciating everything that I have access to, I notice I feel much more not only appreciative, but just thankful for all the stuff that I've been blessed to have, all the information I've been blessed to have, the interactions, my experiences, everything that I have. All because I choose to look at all the things that I do have that maybe some people don't have, or not some, a lot of people don't have, right? So I'm gonna end this off by saying, it's easy to compare yourself to everyone around you, right? Especially with social media, with access to the internet. You know, it's very easy to compare yourself. But if you could take some time, to really just sit down and appreciate what you have, I think things will always turn out right for you. Even if it might take a while. If you have simple necessities that a lot of people don't have, take some time to appreciate that, and things will come into line. I genuinely believe that, and I hope that through all my rambling, something was able to stick. It was a very enlightening conversation for me last night with my friends. But I think I'm going to end this up around here, finish the rest of my walk. If you're seeing this, I love you. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. Make sure to take care of yourself. The only person who could take care of you is you. And always remember, it's easy to compare yourself, but it's hard to sit down and appreciate all the things that you do have. Have a good one.